I'm Federica Ravera from the Department of Geography of the University of Girona, and
Marta Rivera from the Spanish National Research Council.
And we are talking on behalf of the Spanish team and on behalf of the SEQUAL project team. Here you can see, no, it's not so clear, but there is the website where you can find more information about the project and our team that is composed by a Spanish team, Sweden, and Norway and Finland teams with the local case studies in Burkina Faso, Spain and Norway. And we are all women researchers within the project. I will skip about the objectives of the project that you can find also in the left, in the small leaflet you have here, but fundamentally it was addressed to analyze from a top-down and a bottom-up approach how gender equality is integrated within climate change and natural resource policies, and specifically from the bottom-up analysis how power relations, gender and in general social power relations are addressed under climate environmental conditions from everyday practices, impact and adaptations and transformative adaptation. And try to integrate both top-down and bottom-up analysis. So what are some of our reflections on challenges, limitations and difficulties that we found? Even if we had a common application of a theoretical framework, the post-structuralist framework of Bacchi of Woods, the problem is represented to be. And we analyzed in this common framework the silences of such representation on gender equality and climate change policies at different scale. Even if we had this common framework, from the beginning we observed that perhaps we had differences or heterogeneities of backgrounds, expectations, knowledges, even if I think also ages and background in general, that we didn't exploit it within our consortium. It means that in some cases, from the definition of gender and also what kind of, how to shift from gender studies to a more political ecology, feminist studies, it was not, there was not a consensus within the staff. And these linked to probably difficulties in performing comparative studies between the Spanish context and other contexts. Even if we had workshops, systematic reviews, reading groups, etc., to try to have a consensus on such definitions and approaches. Then this linked also to a lack of a clarity on our intersectionality approach, how to apply it, how the intersecting categories of discriminations, oppressions, and privilege were included from the beginning along the process, and also how and if it could be important, given we were working in a north-south comparative project, a more transdisciplinary work. And just for the last limitations or challenges that were much more ethical or procedural, we observed that from the beginning of the process we had a different understanding of the beneficiaries versus the participants or co-participants, in the sense that and they were not consulted about the projects. But we think that this is due that we had a different idea of how we have to do science. It's not only, Patricia Hill Collins says that for all of us we are working on social justice and climate social justice, we need to not only focus our research on the results, but on the process and themselves and how they can be transformative. And we had not a consensus on not to focus only on the results, and we have a long list of papers that we did, but also to focus on the process. And sometimes the time schedules and the boundaries of the project have tyrannically defined a more extractivist way of doing science, less a more process-oriented way of doing science. And finally, the COVID, we were all women with homeschooling child, and with a geographical dispersion, with the difficulties on the contact with our co-participants in the project, and this could be what it was, a very big challenge and difficult. And this.